Hello and welcome to We Poets. My name is Sally Baker and I'm the host of We Poets. We Poets is a poetry show for boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13. So if you would like to be on We Poets, please have your parents or your school teacher call me. I'm always looking for new youngsters to come and read their poetry. Also, I'm always looking for adult professional guests to come and tell young people something about their careers that young people can pursue when they graduate from high school and college. So if you would like to be a guest on We Poets, you can also call me or email me. Today we don't have any poets because it's Christmas holiday, but we do have a special professional guest who's going to tell us all about his exciting career and what he's been doing to teach children and teenagers and adults art. And our guest today is going to be Mr. Qadir McCray. He is a multimedia educator and technician here at Berkeley Community Media in Berkeley, California. So here we go. Hi, Qadir.
Hi, Sally. How you doing?
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Glad to be here. A little nervous, but because I don't usually do interviews, but pretty good.
I know you're going to do well and tell the boys and girls and teenagers and adults what you've been doing. So tell me, what is your title?
My title here at BCM is Facility Tech and Multimedia Educator.
Good.
So I kind of wear two hats.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's talk about your background,
Well,
your educational background.
my educational background. Well, I'm originally from New York City, so I was born in Harlem, raised in Brooklyn, and went to school in all different parts of Brooklyn, and first started college in New York. I went to an art school called Pratt Institute, and I went there for a few years. And then I started working. I didn't graduate because I started working, and put my education on hold for a little while, and became educator, photographer. Then I came to later, as my career advanced. I moved to California, and while I was in New York, I would teach photography, art. And I was young, in my 20s, 30s, and I started out working in summer camps, and I started teaching. I ran like photography programs for summer camps. I did art programs for summer camps. I also worked with middle school. I think I worked a few years for a school in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's like, wait, this is too much. But yeah, I started out working, with young people, but we're talking about education, right? You're asking
Yes.
my background. So yeah, then I went to Pratt, and eventually later moved to California in '97. And started teaching in an elementary school here, a private school called Berkeley Montessori School. Mm-hmm. And I started there, and I was, let me go back to school. And that was my time when I said, let me go finish my degree. And started going to Berkeley City College, which I loved. I still am affiliated with them. Eventually transferring to San Francisco State and getting a bachelor's degree in film. I also got a degree from Berkeley City College. I got an associate's degree in video arts. So I have a background in fine art, video arts, and film.
Wow, you wear many hats.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my education, and I'm still learning. I'm still taking classes. You can never learn enough.
Enough.
It's almost like I need to always be busy,
Busy.
in the
Yes,
field of
keeping the
education.
mind busy.
And I think that's why I consider myself an educator, is because I'm always learning new things and I'm wanting to share that with other people. So, and that's what I want to do here as well. So, yeah.
What age do you particularly like to work with? Small children,
You know,
teenagers, or adults?
in the beginning, I loved my lower elementary, first, second, and third graders. And then as I got older, I moved on to the middle school kids. And then I started working with high school kids and college age students. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say the age group between 16 and 25.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, now why don't we start talking about some of the things you brought to show the audience?
Well, if I can say that I can go back when I first came to
Berkeley.
to Berkeley and started taking art classes, because that was one of the reasons why I came to Berkeley, is because well, not just to Berkeley but to California, because back in the day when we were young, when technology isn't as advanced as it is
today,
now,
yes.
California and the Bay Area was the place where it was all happening. So I'm like, I'm living in New York and it's all happening over there in the Bay Area, and let me move to California so I could be in the midst of it all.
Yes.
So that's when I moved here and started working with young people and teaching art, and then digital came in. And I started working on different projects, and I became a teaching assistant at Berkeley City College.
Good.
And that's when I started doing different projects with the students there. And I can show you, there was one thing that I brought, which I'm pretty happy to bring and show, was we had a portrait project that we were doing in one of the classes, and I was helping students do lighting and composition and things like that. And also there was, I kind of said, well, let's just take it a little further. Let's make it more interesting, and let's see if we can make some magazine covers.
Oh.
And I have a couple of those to
Okay.
show
Let's see those.
from that project. And the thing is, the students had so much fun. There was sort of a waiting list for the people who wanted to come into the studio and work with me to do this project.
Ooh, what a beautiful girl.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Here's one, Fatima.
Oh.
She was one of the students that came in and just said, let's do some portraits of me, and how would I light myself? How would I compose myself? And I came up with this magazine cover template and put it together for the students to enjoy. And,
do you think she's still around?
Maybe I'm still in touch with her.
Wonderful.
Here's Jace and Mickey. He wanted to do it by himself, and his girlfriend, he brought his girlfriend to watch. And I'm like, why would she just sit in the background?
Yeah.
Let's bring her in
out. Yes.
and let's put her in the shoot as well.
That's right.
So together they put some, they were really good at following directions and posing. So these are some of the things that I was able to do while I was at Berkeley City College as a teaching assistant. And I also worked there. I worked with Joe Doyle. I've worked with a few of the teachers there as a teaching assistant. And here's one more.
Oh, good.
And one of their we had printing classes. So this is
Jordan.
Another image. Jordan. He's a photographer. So I was helping him learn how to compose films and compose images and things of that nature.
Do you still have contact with him?
Yeah.
Good.
These are, it's funny that you asked that, because there's so many students from even during COVID, when we were all locked down.
Yes.
two of my students from elementary, from way from 20 years ago,
Yes.
who happened to be friends with me on Instagram, called me up and was like, "Hey, Qadir, can I come visit you?" And that was so touching because I was
Is
like,
that
out
touching?
of nowhere, this kid wants to.
Yes.
And you never know how much you
touch people.
Yes.
Yes.
As an educator. And we came and we went for a walk in the park. We had lunch. And,
Oh, how nice.
And then and this one kid, I won't mention any names, but he was one of the troubled students who the school was trying to get rid of because a lot of the teachers were
Yes.
like, "I can't handle this kid," and I'm like, "No, it's not that you can't handle him. It's not. It's more about what he needs and what we need to give him."
Yes.
So it turned out that they kept him, and a lot of the teachers would come to me to ask, "Qadir, what are you doing to get this student to respond?" And I'm like, well, you just have to provide some stations for him so that he can have multiple things, options for him to work on, or projects, little side projects, give him a job, just different things. And that's the kid who came to visit. And he's now working as not a lawyer, but it's something in the law field.
Yes, it is great.
He's helping inmates who have been falsely accused of a crime to get out of jail. And that's what he's doing now. And that's what I found out when he came to visit me.
Isn't this wonderful?
And this is during COVID. Everybody's locked down. We're all depressed.
Yes.
We're all overeating. We're all over drinking. We're all doing everything that we're not supposed to do. And he came to visit. That was that was really
just
touching.
goes to show you never know how many kids you're going to touch, and they change their lives around and become good citizens and helping others.
So to answer that question, am I still in touch with some of these students? Definitely.
Yes.
And what else I brought to show was back when I first started here at Berkeley Community Media, I started as an intern. And during that time, I was working with homeless youth. And I had to actually go out into Berkeley and introduce myself and get to know them, and I literally spent time, like I would go spend hours just sitting around talking and hanging out.
Yes.
Sometimes I'd take them to lunch, or I'd come and bring drinks and pizza pies, or just bring food and let them know that I'm a okay person to talk to. And I invited them into the studio, and they told their stories. And I mean, these are guys who are 18, 19, 20.
Yes, young people.
Young people, under 25.
Yes.
And those videos are still up on YouTube right now. If you want to check them out. It's under Qadir McCray, my name. And with that, I also had a lot of photos.
Oh, yes, let's see those photos.
Oh, and I also got a write-up in the Berkeley Times.
Oh, well, let's see that first.
From one of the videos that we did for the 48-hour filmmaker challenge in August 15, 2013.
Oh.
And I was shocked because nobody expected us to show up in the Berkeley Times, but they liked the film that I made. So
well, let's see it. Hold that up to the camera. Let's see it.
So it's a little, it's a lot of green in there. So hopefully it doesn't, you can still get to see some of that.
Oh,
but
nice.
It was really nice. So I saved a few copies of these just as a memorabilia of that time. And then some of the photographs from those times.
Oh.
Here are some of the people. And this was in 2013. Berkeley was a little different back then.
Yes.
And they changed it all around, but in this image you could see that the encampment, it was just more of a protest where a lot of the young people were being treated really badly by some of the police officers. And I think a lot of that's changed since then. But some of the, let's say it wasn't very many officers. There was maybe one or maybe two officers that really had some personal vendetta against some of the young people and treated them really badly.
Oh.
And yeah, I got to know some of that about their stories, and also some of the stories that they would tell about what it's like to be homeless, and how some people are out there by choice.
Oh, yes.
Some of the people are out there because they have the disease of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people are out there for, domestic violence or some other family-related. I remember one young person said that his mom passed away, and he was 18, and there was nowhere for him to go. He had no place to go. He didn't have a job. He was
no family,
finishing school.
no
He
grandparents,
didn't have any
aunts,
family.
uncles.
He didn't have anybody.
No.
So that's how he became homeless.
Oh.
And it's at first I was like, that's the same question. But what about your other family? And he's like, no, nobody cared. Nobody was interested in helping me. And they're all drug addicts, and they're all. He didn't want to be with the people who were available.
Yes.
So he winded up on the street, and that's just one story. And his story is up on one of my YouTube page from 2013. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 shows that I did back then that are currently still up on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And here's one that I like just for composition purposes. This veteran who he was the sweetest man. He would laugh and joke and tell all kinds of stories from his time in Vietnam. They were tragic stories, but for some reason he found a way to make them humorous. And these tragic stories, I don't know. I have to show that again.
Yes.
This man, you would think, okay, but his story was also about how, unfortunately, the services that were supposed to be available to him were not available to him.
Yes.
And that's why he's homeless. So, and some of the things that he needed, they weren't able to provide, or provide in a way that enabled him to have a place to live and to have the care that he needed.
I see.
So,
is he still here in Berkeley? Do you know?
I don't know. He's one of the people that was in the encampment with the young people. So I didn't get a chance to follow him like I did some of the young people.
Yes.
But yeah.
Oh dear.
So that's just a little brief part of what I've done over the years in my career as an educator, as a program developer, a youth program developer.
Were you in the military?
No.
No.
I was never in the military. Back when I was young, there was a draft happening. I don't know when or what was happening, but I remember when it was happening, I was the only son at the time. So I kind of didn't have to register. There was a time when I can't remember exactly when, but I know I was around 17 or 18 or 19 or something like that, 17 or 18. And there was some announcement that was made that there may be a need to have people, register for the military. And then I found out, well, if you're the only son and something to that effect, you don't have to.
Right.
So I don't know. But yeah, I can probably go on all day about a lot of different things as far as my life experiences with young people. I just think it's really important that as an educator that I continue that purpose.
Right.
Because no matter where I am, it just feels like that's what my heart is driven. That's what drives me, is to be able to develop new things and keep an interest in learning, whether it's digital art or if it's about using art as a form of documenting times or important important messages that need to be heard. And that's just what I kind of like do now.
Well, now, here at Berkeley Community Media, what are your aspirations for the future, for this new year?
Well, for this new year, what I would love to see happen, and I'm hoping to make happen, is to develop some new, or introduce some new technology, bring in some virtual production, as like a space, using this space for virtual production, virtual reality, which is are the VR headsets, being able to bring that here for our members to learn and to be able to use to create their stories, whether they're going out and shooting photography and need to have a new way of presenting information that's fun and engaging and not just the traditional TV screen or the traditional documentary forms, but making it more playful so that it's more available to young people. And if you need to learn about whatever. It could be, like we were talking about the homeless situation. If people have questions about that, being able to just to bring in some young people and help them, even help some of the more seasoned, producers
yes,
who are not necessarily savvy in technology.
Right.
So maybe bridging some of those gaps between the younger group and the older groups and bringing those together.
Yes.
Having them help each other. So you have the more seasoned veteran producers
with
bringing
the
in
new
younger
ones.
producers,
Yes.
bridging that gap and having those stories being told together. That's something that I'd also like to see happen here.
Great. Now, are there any awards that you have received that you're very proud of that you'd like to show before we end the show?
All right.
I'm sure you've received many awards.
Some people say that a degree is just a piece of paper. So, I mean, it is, but when I take it out and I look at it, I'm like, I did that.
Yes.
I did that. And I had this little associate's degree. It says Associates in Arts, Multimedia Arts, Video Arts. I hereby conferred upon Qadir McCray, blah, 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 blah. But it's my little associate's degree.
And what year was this?
This was 2018. And the thing is, I was never good at school. I don't know how I became a teacher because I was a terrible student.
Oh, no, I know you weren't a terrible student.
The thing is, I was one of the troubled kids.
There's
the other one that I got from SF State. It's a bachelor's in film. And I have several other certificates and awards and things that I probably don't have time to show right now. But just to briefly go over why I think these are important to me is because when I was going to school and I was younger, I wasn't a good student. I was, I had some behavior issues.
Yes.
And I had a lot of questions about why things have to be the way they are. And we're talking back in the 70s, and things were a lot different.
You better believe it.
In the media,
yes.
in education, and in segregation and all that.
Right.
I mean, I grew up in a Nixon-Carter era, so if you want to research the Nixon-Carter era in the United States, there's a lot of stuff that's been revealed that wasn't necessarily revealed back then. So I'm pretty proud of these little pieces of paper because I never thought that I was going to be able to achieve them as a person who wasn't necessarily good at dealing with authority in the field of education. So Isn't it ironic that I became an educator?
Yes, and it's so important that you're an African American man. We need more men to show our young men coming up that even though they're African American or a minority, they can make it if they work hard.
Yeah,
You know,
thank
we
you.
need you as role models.
Thank you, I appreciate
You
it.
know.
Someone. Well, I enjoyed being here and talking.
Any parting words you'd like to give out to the young people and the teenagers and the adults?
You know, the only thing that I can say that would make any difference, that's made difference
To you.
to me,
Mm-hmm.
is never to give up.
Right.
Because there were so many times when
Wanted to give up.
and I would always come this close to giving up.
Yes.
And then some little voice in my head, whether it's God or the universe or something in that area, no, keep going.
Keep going.
You took a pause.
Uh-huh.
Now it's time to get up and give it another try.
That's right.
So whenever I fell down or something, I got back up and I kept going.
Kept going, yes.
And now I can look back and say,
See,
I did get that.
that's right.
I did that.
That's
and
right.
That program that I developed is still running.
Still running, yes, yes. So never give up.
Right.
Never give up. Well, I want to thank you for coming and sharing. I wish we had more time, but we did get a lot covered.
Yeah, we did.
And
Thank you.
you've been a good role model for young people and adults too. And good luck in this new year. I hope you have a lot of people come in and take your classes here at Berkeley Community
I think
Media.
it's going to be good. It's going to start off a little slow, but I think we're going to be fine.
We're going to be fine.
The seed is planted.
That's right. That's right. Well,
It
thank
needs to be
you.
watered. And
Yes. So I want to thank you people who have watched our show this year. I hope you've enjoyed all the programs that we brought you. I want to thank all of the teachers who provided the poets for me to come, and all the adult guests, and Berkeley Community Media, and all the people that it took to produce We Poets. So let's all say goodbye and Happy New Year. So let's wave goodbye to our audience. Happy New Year, everybody.